Your belly fat operates like a high-security vault, and it has two dedicated bodyguards working around the clock. Their names are insulin and cortisol, and they're incredibly good at their jobs. When these hormones are elevated, your fat stays locked away no matter how perfectly you eat or how hard you exercise. Let me break down how this biological bunker actually works. When you eat throughout the day, even healthy snacks, your insulin levels stay elevated. Think of insulin as the first bodyguard. Its job is simple: store energy and keep it stored. High insulin sends a clear message to your body. We don't need to burn fat right now because food keeps coming in. Your fat cells get the signal to stay closed for business. But insulin doesn't work alone. Meet cortisol, the stress hormone, and your second bodyguard. When you're chronically stressed, sleeping poorly, or doing too much intense exercise, cortisol spikes. This hormone tells your body that danger is near and you need emergency fuel reserves. Where does your body prefer to store these reserves? Right around your middle, close to your vital organs. Here's where it gets frustrating. These two hormones create a vicious cycle that keeps you stuck. High insulin blocks fat burning while high cortisol demands more fat storage. It's like having one guard locking the vault while the other guard keeps adding more treasure to protect. Your body thinks it's being helpful, but it's actually working against your goals. This is why you feel so defeated. You're not weak. You're just fighting a war you can't win with the wrong weapons. It's the feeling of running on a treadmill for an hour only to feel more tired and more frustrated. This is why traditional advice fails. You can't out-exercise high insulin. You can't starve your way past elevated cortisol. Doing 100 crunches won't spot reduce belly fat when hormones are blocking access to stored energy. It's like trying to drive somewhere when all the roads are blocked. You can rev the engine all you want, but you're not going anywhere. If this explanation finally cleared up why you've been stuck, hit the like button so this message can reach more women who are fighting the same battle. The key word constellation that controls your belly fat includes insulin resistance, cortisol dysregulation, mitochondrial function, fat oxidation, and metabolic flexibility. These aren't separate problems. They're all connected in one system that either works for you or against you. Your mitochondria are the tiny engines inside your cells that burn fat for fuel. But when insulin stays high, these engines can't access stored fat. They're forced to run on whatever sugar is floating around in your bloodstream. Meanwhile, chronic stress damages these same mitochondria, making them less efficient at burning any fuel at all. Fat oxidation is your body's ability to break down stored fat and use it for energy. This process gets completely shut down when insulin levels remain elevated throughout the day. Your body becomes metabolically inflexible, meaning it can only run on sugar instead of switching between sugar and fat like it's designed to do. The truth is, your body after 40 operates differently than it did in your 20s and 30s. Declining estrogen makes you more sensitive to insulin. Increased life stress keeps cortisol higher for longer periods. Your metabolism naturally slows down, but these hormone changes make the problem much worse. Understanding this system is the first step to working with your biology instead of fighting it. Once you know how these bodyguards operate, you can use simple strategies to lower their defenses and finally access that stubborn belly fat. The solution isn't more restriction or harder workouts. It's about timing, stress management, and giving your hormones what they actually need to let go of stored energy. But to break down the first bodyguard, insulin, you can't just drop a bomb on the vault. You need a strategy that starves the guard until he walks away from the door.
Fix 1. Reset your insulin switch with smart fasting. Now that you understand how insulin keeps your belly fat locked away, let's talk about the most effective way to lower it: strategic fasting. This isn't about starving yourself or following some extreme diet. It's about giving your body a break from constant food intake so insulin can finally drop and fat burning can begin. Here's how the insulin reset actually works. When you stop eating for 12 to 14 hours, your insulin levels naturally fall. Think of it like turning off a faucet. Once the water stops flowing, the sink can finally drain. Once insulin drops, your body gets the green light to access stored fat, especially that stubborn belly fat around your organs. Be honest, what's your donut? Is it the cream in your coffee, or maybe the late night snack? Share your biggest fasting challenge below. The key is creating a compressed eating window of 6 to 8 hours. This means you eat all your meals within this time frame and fast for the remaining 16 to 18 hours. Most women find it easiest to skip breakfast, eat lunch around noon, have dinner by 6 or 7, then stop eating until noon the next day. And yes, this can feel awkward at first. You might have to explain to your spouse or your friends why you're skipping the office donuts or why you're not hungry at the usual time. But remember, you are choosing hormone balance over social pressure. However, the fasting journey is full of traps. Little did most people know their secret sabotage was causing the insulin guard to run right back to the door and lock the vault tight. But here's where most people mess up. They think fasting means they can eat whatever they want during their eating window. Wrong. What you eat still matters. Focus on protein at every meal to keep you satisfied and prevent muscle loss. Include healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, and nuts to support hormone production. Choose complex carbohydrates that don't spike your blood sugar rapidly. Clean fasting is absolutely critical. During your fasting hours, you can have black coffee, plain tea, and water. That's it. No cream in your coffee, no artificial sweeteners, no bone broth, no supplements that contain calories. Even tiny amounts of these can trigger an insulin response and shut down fat burning. Think of your fat cells as a high-security vault. Fasting is the process of getting the guard, insulin, to step away from the door. But when you add a splash of cream to your coffee or a BCAA supplement, that's like ringing the doorbell and handing the guard a donut. He immediately runs back to the door and locks it tight. The fat-burning process stops instantly. The timing matters too. Stop eating at least 3 hours before bed. Late-night eating keeps insulin elevated when it should be dropping for overnight fat burning. Your body does its best repair and fat-burning work while you sleep, but only if insulin isn't interfering. Weekend cheating is another common mistake. You can't fast Monday through Friday, then eat constantly on weekends and expect results. Your body doesn't understand weekends. It only responds to consistent hormone patterns. One weekend of constant snacking can undo an entire week of progress. Stress eating during your fasting window is equally destructive. When you're stressed and reach for food, you're not just breaking your fast, you're spiking both insulin and cortisol at the same time. This double hit makes belly fat even more stubborn. If you're finding this science-backed approach to hormone balancing helpful, make sure you're subscribed. We break down complex issues into simple, actionable steps every single week. Now that we've found the key to lowering insulin, the first bodyguard, we have to deal with the second one, the stress hormone, cortisol. Your current exercise routine is likely spiking this bodyguard, turning what should be a fat-burning hour into an even bigger fat storage problem.
Fix 2. Calm your cortisol with strategic movement and recovery. Even perfect fasting won't work if your cortisol levels are sky high. This is why some women fast religiously but still can't lose belly fat. They're managing insulin, but ignoring the other bodyguard protecting their fat stores. The biggest mistake I see is doing too much intense cardio. Those long runs or high-intensity interval training sessions might burn calories during the workout, but they spike cortisol for hours afterward. I call this the Cortisol Cardio Trap. Many women over 40 are still stuck on the idea of running for an hour a day. I switched a client from 5 days of intense running to 3 days of heavy lifting and 4 days of brisk, low-stress walking. She was exercising less, but her belly fat dropped faster because she lowered her overall stress load. Your body interprets intense exercise as stress, especially when you're already dealing with life stress, work pressure, and hormonal changes. Instead, focus on strategic movement that actually lowers stress hormones. Keep cardio sessions under 30 minutes and at a moderate intensity where you can still hold a conversation. Think brisk walking, easy cycling, or swimming at a comfortable pace. Imagine trading that sweaty, high-impact hour that leaves you drained for a brisk, peaceful walk where you can actually clear your head. This isn't about burning calories. It's about giving your nervous system a sigh of relief. These activities boost your mood and metabolism without triggering a stress response. Strength training twice per week is your secret weapon. It's the only exercise that directly addresses the slowing metabolism of menopause. Focus on compound movements that work multiple muscle groups at once: squats, deadlifts, rows, and pushes. These exercises build lean muscle that burns calories even at rest, and they improve insulin sensitivity without spiking cortisol like endless cardio does. However, the battle isn't won in the gym. Little did most women know they are sabotaging their cortisol management the moment they get into bed. But exercise is only half the equation. Recovery is where the magic happens. 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep isn't optional. It's when your body produces growth hormone, repairs muscle tissue, and burns fat most efficiently. Poor sleep shoots cortisol through the roof and makes you crave sugary foods the next day. Create a sleep routine that supports hormone balance. Turn off screens at least 1 hour before bed. The blue light tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime, suppressing melatonin production. Keep your bedroom cool and completely dark. Even small amounts of light can disrupt sleep quality. What's the one thing you can do tonight to improve your sleep routine? Maybe turn off the phone earlier? Let me know your sleep goal for the week. 15-minute walks are incredibly powerful for lowering cortisol. Take one after meals to help with blood sugar control. Take another when you're feeling stressed instead of reaching for food. These gentle movements activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest and recovery. Simple breathing exercises can lower cortisol in real time. When you feel stressed, take 5 deep breaths, inhaling for 4 counts and exhaling for 6 counts. This signals your nervous system to shift out of fight or flight mode and into a calmer state. Managing daily stress isn't luxury. It's essential for fat loss. Set boundaries with work emails. Practice saying no to commitments that drain your energy. Unplug from social media regularly. These aren't selfish acts. They're necessary for hormone balance and successful weight management. Out of the 3 fixes we covered, fasting, movement, or recovery, which one are you starting today? Tell me your #1 action item. Work with your hormones instead of fighting them, and belly fat doesn't stand a chance. Start your eating window tomorrow and take a 15-minute walk today. You now have the power to stop fighting your body and start seeing the results you deserve. Sometimes traditional diets give you wins, sometimes they give you lessons. The lesson here is that you must respect your hormones. For the exact strength training routine to pair with these fixes, click the video on your screen right now. Subscribe for more hormone balancing strategies that actually work for women over 40.